Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syairuddin bin Muhammad Asdan. My metric number is S65457. For this video, I would like to share about a disaster. This is my individual assignment for chemical safety and management. Name of my disaster I choose is Pepcon Disaster. Okay, Pepcon Disaster. What is Pepcon? Pepcon is a Pacific Engineering and Production Company of Nevada. Pepcon, a chemical plant in Henderson. Okay, this disaster occurred in Henderson, Nevada, on 4th May 1988 at time 11:30 a.m. Daily Pacific time. For the chemical involved in this disaster is named ammonium perchlorate, AP. Now, how Pepcon disaster happened? Pepcon employees were repairing the plant's winds damaged steel and fiberglass during structure at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Daily Time. Spark from a welding torches during repair ignite some of the fiberglass building material. The fire grew at a accelerated rate because of general profusion of AP. The surplus of AP exploded in the fire. The fire quickly spread through most of the facility by means of thermal radiation. A continuous linear source of fuel and some natural self-propelled missiles. Two large explosions occur during the fire, each on the order of a few hundred tons energy equivalent of TNT, claiming to life injuries 300 to 400 people and damaging plant building as well as those in nearby residential areas. The workers attempt to extinguish the fire with a hose line, but then charged a second hose line, which reduced the water pressure and allowed the fire to grow. In addition, one blowing directly from the batch dryer building to the storage area. The fire spread quickly to the 55 gallon AP storage drums attached next to the drying structure. Consequence and effect to the people and environment for this disaster. This explosion caused over $7 million in damage to the surrounding industrial facilities and residences. Death of the 2 employees. Injury to almost 400 people including plant employees, emergency personnel, adjacent residents. Now we go to legislation involved, act and compound comments of the Pepcon disaster. First, OSHA, Occupation Safety and Health. It states that it covers rules for handling, storing and responding to the emergencies with regard to hazardous product and mandates that companies create a secure workplace for their workers. Next, regulation of Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, under a number of federal laws, including the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, RCRA, and the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation and Liability Act, CERCLA. The EPA regulates the handling, storage, and transportation of the hazardous materials. Regulations set out by Department of Transportation. The create rules for the secure transport of hazardous chemicals, including specification for labeling, packaging, and emergency response preparation. Codes from the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA. The NFPA creates and disseminates code and standard for the fire safety, including those pertaining to the handling and storage hazardous product. So, lastly, any action taken result from the incident. Any amendment to the policy of legislation. First, safety improvement. The explosion made it clear that safer handling and storage practice for the hazardous item and required. To avoid repeat incidents, business and regulatory bodies evaluate and enhance safety procedures, improve storage facilities, store safety regulation, and greater training for the staff members handling hazardous product were all part of this. Besides, emergency response planning. The tragedy made clear how crucial it is to have a solid emergency response plan. Emergency response procedure for events involving hazardous materials were reviewed